Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're talking about something that could be a total game changer for startups, a new AI model called GLM 4.7. The big question is, could this be the secret weapon that lets smaller companies build a real, lasting advantage? So if you're out there building a startup right now, you know this feeling. You have to make a huge call about what AI you're going to build on. And look, this isn't just some tech stack decision, right? This is a strategic choice that's going to dictate your budget, your agility, and maybe even whether you survive. Right now, it kind of feels like you're stuck between two not-so-great choices. Option one, you rent space in this massive, shiny factory owned by one of the big AI giants. Yeah, the machinery is top-notch, but the rent is absolutely crippling. You're stuck with their rules, and you're totally locked in. Option two, you go the DIY route. You set up shop in your own garage with open-source models. You've got all the freedom in the world, but let's be honest, the tools are often just not powerful enough. You're left with these frustrating performance gaps. But what if there's a third option? What if you could have the best of both worlds? Imagine having all the power of that state-of-the-art factory, but with the total freedom and control that comes from owning the whole workshop yourself. Well, that's exactly the promise behind this new model, GLM 4.7. All right, let's get into it. A promise like that is great, but it's totally empty if the tools in this new workshop aren't up to snuff, right? So, let's talk about performance. Just how powerful is this thing? Okay, so right out of the gate, this model is making some serious waves. When it comes to coding, which, let's face it, is the lifeblood of just about every tech startup, GLM 4.7 has apparently jumped to the #1 spot for open source models. I mean, according to the LMArena Code Arena, that's a huge deal. And you can see that competitive edge right here. On a really tough benchmark called LiveCodeBench, which tests real-world coding, it pulls an 84.8. Now, what's so impressive about that? Well, it actually puts it ahead of some heavy-hitting proprietary models like Claude 4.5 Sonnet. So it's not just playing catch-up anymore. In some cases, it's actually leading. And this isn't just a one-trick pony for coding. Its ability to reason has taken this just massive leap forward. It scored a 42% on something called Humanity's Last Exam, which is this brutal test of complex problem solving. That's a 38% jump from the last version, putting it squarely in the same league as the top-tier proprietary models. Impressive stuff. Okay, so it's powerful. We've established that. But all the power in the world doesn't matter if you can't afford to turn the lights on. And this is where the story gets really interesting, especially for startups. Let's talk about the economics. Seriously, get ready for this because the price is kind of mind-blowing. The coding plan, designed specifically for developers, starts at just $3 a month. I mean, that's less than a fancy coffee for access to a state-of-the-art AI. And to put that into perspective, $3 isn't just cheap. It's about 1/7 of what you typically shell out for a premium plan from one of the big guys. For a startup trying to manage its cash burn, this just completely rewrites the rules of the game. And it gets better. For that tiny price, you're not getting a tiny amount of usage. You actually get about 3 times the quota of a standard plan. Think about what that means for a startup's runway. It means your developers can build, experiment, and break things without you constantly worrying about a monster AI bill showing up at the end of the month. So this incredible affordability opens the door to something really cool. This model is designed for more than just spitting out little snippets of code. It's built for something called agentic coding, which is all about shifting from just writing stuff to actually doing stuff. So what on earth is agentic coding? Well, think of it this way. A regular model is like a dictionary. It gives you the words. An agentic model is like a writer. It uses those words to build a whole story. It acts more like a junior developer on your team. You give it a high-level goal, and it can actually figure out the steps, use different tools, and get the job done, all on its own. And this means it can do real-world, practical things that you actually need. You know, like calling out to an API to grab live data, or running a query against your user database, or even digging into your files to refactor a messy part of your code base. It's an AI that actually does things, not just suggests them. And look, if you're building a business on this, it has to be reliable, right? That's non-negotiable. While this model boasts a tool calling success rate of over 90%. That's huge. It means when you tell it to do something, it actually works most of the time. For building any kind of dependable automation for business customers, that's absolutely critical. Okay, so let's put it all together. You've got top-tier performance, crazy low pricing, and this reliable ability to actually get tasks done. All of this brings us right back to that main idea. strategic control. It's about finally owning your own workshop. And this is the literal key to the front door of that workshop. See, unlike the proprietary models where you're basically just renting, GLM 4.7 is released under a permissive MIT license. And for a startup, honestly, that changes absolutely everything. Having that MIT license is like getting the deed to the property. It means you can self-host the model on your own servers. Why does that matter? Data privacy. You keep your user data and your own secret stuff safe. It also means you can fine-tune it on your own code, your company's secret sauce, to make it do things no one else's model can. And maybe the biggest thing of all, you are never, ever locked into one company's ecosystem. You are in control of your own AI destiny. And this workshop comes fully equipped with some pretty serious gear. We're talking a massive 200,000 token context window, so it can understand really big, complex projects. It's super fast, and it even has this special deep thinking mode you can flip on when you need to tackle those really tough architectural problems. So when you boil it all down, the AI a startup chooses isn't just another tool in the stack. It's the very foundation of the entire business. And what GLM 4.7 seems to offer is a totally new kind of foundation, one that's incredibly powerful, ridiculously affordable, and most importantly, one that's completely and totally under your control. And that really leaves us with a fascinating question to chew on. As AI gets more and more powerful, is the real competitive advantage, the real moat, not just about having the most powerful AI? Or is it about being the one who can afford to truly control it?